Hi, I'm Mario Anderson. Welcome to In Focus Kentucky, the show where we take a look at issues that matter to you. Each week we talk directly to the lawmakers and community leaders who help shape policy and law that affects you. On today's episode, the issue of homelessness continues to be a major problem across all parts of the Bluegrass State. But how are government agencies and community organizations tackling the issue of homelessness, and what exactly does it mean to end homelessness? Kentucky Housing Corporation in Frankfort just wrapped up its annual statewide 2019 K-Count, a point-in-time count of homeless Kentuckians living on the streets, inside emergency shelters, or at other temporary housing programs in the balance of state, which includes 118 counties outside of Fayette and Jefferson, during a single night. Due to separate funding streams, Louisville and Lexington conduct their own counts. Now, recently I caught up with staff at KHC to find out how it allocates finances to various organizations in Kentucky to help administer federal programs, including rental assistance that makes quality housing available to more than 27,000 Kentuckians.
It's a requirement of HUD annually to do a point-in-time count, which is supposed to happen in January every year across the country. And those counts are used by HUD to help identify funding allocations, as well as the need for additional housing and supportive services to help end homelessness in the United States. People tend to stereotype homelessness as a big city problem, and it's not. It can be visible in your cities where you have high concentrations of services and folks you can see living under overpasses or on train trestles. But rural homelessness can be really hidden from the community. You know, folks living out in the woods or in barns or other places that really aren't appropriate for people to live safely and comfortably. And so, you know, a lot of folks might say, well, we don't see any homeless people in our community, so homelessness isn't a problem here. But we know for a fact that's not the case. And while the point-in-time count is a great snapshot of what we're experiencing in the Commonwealth, we know it's an undercount. We know there's a lot of folks, particularly in small cities and rural areas, that are flying under the radar. So we do need to raise awareness about the need for more housing resources in all communities across the state, as well as access to services. And it is a challenge because those funding resources are very limited.
For more information about KHC, you can visit their website at kyhousing.org. In January of this year, Louisville, Kentucky's largest city, held a crucial event in the mission to help Louisville's homeless. Spectrum News 1's Jonathan Gregg reports on how the recent homeless street count affects the services the city can provide.
Hours before a Louisville sunrise, volunteers are already on the move, canvassing the entire city.
It's a really interesting area because there is some residential.
Corbin, Hannah, and others are searching for the most vulnerable residents.
Good morning. How's it going?
They are counting the homeless. Shortly after 4 a.m., Hannah finds two people sleeping in a tent.
So we're just out here with the Homeless Coalition doing a count of people who are sleeping on the streets.
A man inside says he's 25 years old and has been homeless for the past 4.
You just kind of been like, someone lets you couch surf for a little while, then you get kicked out. Is that kind of how it happens? Yeah. Okay.
At this moment, similar interactions are happening across Louisville during the annual street count.
We just try to help provide them their basic needs so that hopefully some of that could get stabilized so they can start focusing on how the steps that they need to take to get stable housing.
A lot of help is needed to be accurate. On Thursday, the right amount came forward. More than 300 volunteers.
Humbling and inspirational because it's only going to be through the support of everyone in this community that we can really get to solving the issue of homelessness.
A street count determines how much federal money a city receives to help those struggling to find homes. Last year, volunteers counted 937 homeless people. 153 were sleeping outside.
Oh, yours is Eastern Parkway down to Central. Okay.
And on a morning where the temperatures barely rise above zero, the need for shelter becomes critical.
People can die in this. That's the reality. And our hope is to help highlight the need.
Have they seen anybody?
The street count begins at 4 a.m. and will end before the sun comes up.
Frostbite can set in really, really quickly than it has in years past, and we just don't want to find anybody in medical crisis or even find somebody that has passed away.
But for people who have no other option,
I know it's cold out here. I don't want to keep you any longer.
making contact with Corbin Hanna could be the first step in moving out of homelessness.
You have some of them, they've just been out for a long time.
In Louisville, Jonathan Gregg, Spectrum News.
Researchers with the University of Louisville are teaming up with the City of Louisville to help do something about the homeless problem. U of L's Department of Health, Promotion, and Behavioral Science, along with the School of Public Health and Information Sciences, are providing assessment recommending the best solutions to help the growing homeless population in the city. The research team is under a $50,000 contract through the Coalition for the Homeless, funded by the city. Now, Susan Buccino, an assistant professor in U of L's Health and Behavioral Sciences Department, is leading the team, and in a statement she said that we are excited to partner with the Coalition for the Homeless and Louisville Metro to further understand homelessness and to help identify potential solutions to a pressing problem in our hometown. The project will conclude in June of 2019. Now, you've heard how homelessness is being tackled on a statewide level and also in Louisville, Kentucky's largest city. Next, we'll tell you about one Kentucky city that recently was awarded a $1.8 million federal grant designed to help Kentucky organizations reduce and end homelessness. That's coming up after your Weather on the Ones. We'll be right back.